everybody. It is Shakira, the Doula, and I'm here with another incredible video for you today. I am so pleased because I'm joined by my friend, Reverend Captain, and as you can see, mommy-to-be Ashlee Green. Ashlee and I are going to talk about how to develop some alternative breathing techniques as you go through your labor process. So join us for this conversation. Grab your birth ball, grab your partner, and let's get right into it. So Ashlee, before we get into the demonstration, I want you to just tell me a little bit about your pregnancy, how it's been. You're in your third trimester. How are you feeling?
First of all, thanks for having me. I'm really, really excited to be participating in this video today. I am, as you mentioned, in my third trimester, and gratefully, thankfully, the pregnancy itself has been pretty easy, and I know that I am blessed to be able to say that. Haven't had any real debilitating symptoms or complications, and so I just feel really grateful for that. I think at this point, why I'm so excited to be here with you is that I'm really being intentional about preparing my body for labor.
Yeah.
I'm hopefully, prayerfully, going to have an unmedicated natural birth, and so I'm trying to do everything I can, both mentally and physically, to prepare for that.
Awesome. As you heard, Ashlee, she's preparing right now for the labor and delivery moment. And this is actually the right time that you want to be thinking about what your labor and delivery experience is going to be like. And so some of the breathing techniques that we're going to go through today are going to help you learn to embrace what it's going to be like to experience contractions. But before we get into those breathing techniques, a little background and context on why we talk about breathing during the labor and delivery process. So, back in the 1950s, Dr. Ferdinand Lamaze created what's known as the Lamaze method. It is the most commonly taught method in birthing classes today. The Lamaze method is, if you're familiar with it, the method that focuses on the breathing technique. And what Dr. Ferdinand was hoping is that this technique would reduce pain during the birthing process. Now, the challenge with that is that pain, birthing is inevitably painful, but that should not frighten us because pain is a birthright. It's a passageway to the abundance and gift of bringing life into this world. And it doesn't necessarily mean that pain has to be uncomfortable. Now, the Lamaze method, though commonly used, has a bit of trouble for the birther. The first thing is that the Lamaze method that requires the laboring person to be actively cognitive. And that is definitely not what we want during the birthing process. We want to get the birthing person out of their neocortex into a meditative state. And if they're having to focus and having to remember, that can be really exhausting for the person who's already laboring. The other thing that we want to consider is that breathing pattern is not our natural breathing pattern. It has the potential to dehydrate the birthing person. It has the potential to actually elicit a sense of panic, and again, keeping them in their neocortex and aware of what's going on. And so what we're going to talk about are some alternative methods that rely on natural breathing patterns. But before we do that, Ashlee, I want you to entertain me by trying the Lamaze method and see how it feels.
I knew this was coming. It reminds me of TV in the 90s.
So what you're going to do is you're going to just focus on something in the room, and then through your teeth, you're going to just see how that feels.
Okay, let's do this. Oh, okay.
How did that feel?
It requires a lot of effort, and it requires a lot of work and thinking. I have to concentrate on, okay, what's next? Am I herein or am I hooing?
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Ashlee had to be too aware of what was going on. You can literally see thinking. And that is not to disparage the Lamaze method. Every birther is different. So if that works for you, are what we call our diaphragmatic breathing methods. And these rely a little bit more on our natural breathing patterns. They also help the brain to get into a meditative state. If you're somebody who practices yoga or Pilates, these will feel very natural to you. And actually, you're pretty active, so these will feel very natural to you. But the point that we want to bring home here is that these breathing patterns will, one, get your body into the process of oxygenating. It will make sure that your uterus is getting more oxygen, and most importantly, that your baby is getting the right amount of oxygen. We're also giving the uterus the opportunity to expand and contract. The Lamaze method that in staying in that neocortex is actually causing you to tense up more than you think. And that's the exact opposite reaction that we want. We want you relaxed, we want you meditative, we want you working with your baby to bring that baby earthside. So the diaphragmatic method, we're going to fill up our belly and lungs with air. We're going to breathe in through our nose and fill it up as if we are a balloon and expanding our lungs. And in the same way, out through our nose, we're going to breathe out. And again, we're going to just fill up our lungs and our belly, breathing in through our nose and then out through our nose and deflating as if we were a balloon. So Ashlee, I'm going to ask you to demonstrate that with me. I'm going to do it first so you can see it, and then we'll go through it together. And we'll do it a few times so that you can see how it feels. So we're going to breathe in and out through our nose. And breathe in through our nose. Filling up the lungs, filling up the belly, and out. So after you want to do that with me, we're going to breathe in through our nose and out through the nose. And again, in and out through our nose. Now, Ashlee, how does that feel?
I feel so much more relaxed.
You feel relaxed?
I feel more relaxed, more almost in control. Yeah.
That's good. I like that. The sense of feeling in control. Now, when we're practicing that diaphragmatic breathing, we want to be doing that at the start of our contraction. And we actually want to be able to recognize that type of breath as what we call our welcoming breath. You can give that breath a name. Actually, do you want to rename that breath?
I like welcoming.
You like welcoming?
I like welcoming.
All right, we'll stick with welcoming.
We'll welcome the contraction on.
Exactly. We want to welcome it because we're going to be embracing, again, pain is a part of the process, but it doesn't mean that it has to be uncomfortable. We can actually experience moments of comfort through pain. And so we're going to welcome those contractions. And at the start of the contraction, practicing that diaphragmatic breathing. So expanding the belly, expanding the lungs, oxygenating your baby, oxygenating your uterus, getting your body used to filling up and having the most optimal amount of oxygen in the body. Got it?
Got it.
Perfect. Now, the second breath that we're going to do is our cleansing breath. And that is that I just crossed the finish line breath. That's that breath that after you've run 3 miles, you are like, I did it. After you have finished an intense yoga session, you're like, yes. After you have walked up the steps with grocery bags in your hand, you're like, yes, I did it. That cleansing breath is what we're going to do when we get through the ends of the contraction. And that is our way of thanking our body and acknowledging that our body is doing something very miraculous and powerful. And so that breath, incorporating the diaphragmatic breath, just looks like through your nose like we talked about last time, so that you breath in, filling up, and letting it out through your mouth this time. So when you feel that contraction starting to come to an end, you're going to just work with your body, your baby, and you're going to let that breath out. So actually, can you try that with me? So we're going to breathe in through our nose. And then we're going to let it out, cleansing breath. Very good. Let's do it again. In through our nose. And we're going to let that cleansing breath out. Awesome. That feels so good. I'm not even having a baby, and I feel relaxed and ready to take on the world. Tips for you at home. You can start practicing your diaphragmatic breathing and your cleansing breath now, especially if you're like Ashlee in your third trimester and you're going to start to come up on what we call that early labor. So that's your body tricking you into thinking that you're going into your active labor, but you're not quite there yet. And you experience that early labor, and we're going to talk about early labor in another video. When you begin to experience that, just go ahead and start practicing that breathing, because practice is what enables us to be prepared for the actual moment. The more that you can practice now before the labor and the delivery, the more it'll feel just innate and rote when you're in that moment. For your birthing partners, and if they're with you, that's awesome. I'm glad you're watching this video, and if they're not, be sure to send it to them. For birthing partners, we want to use this as an opportunity to partner with the birthing person, but not coaching. The body already knows what it's supposed to do. And again, we want to keep them in that meditative state. So your job is to be eliminating as many distractions as possible. If you see the birthing person start to feel panicked, or you see that they're losing their breathing pattern, rather than coaching them or asking questions, just come along very naturally and just start to breathe with them. If it's a cleansing breath in, if it's a welcoming breath. And that birthing person will naturally just pick up on the pattern with you and begin to do it without having to come back into cognition. They'll be able to stay in their meditative state. Ashlee, thank you so much for being here with me.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
I'm so excited for you and Nugget. We cannot wait to see the baby. And for you at home, make sure you like the video, make sure you subscribe, and make sure you keep coming back for more. We'll see you next time.